Have you ever had that feeling when you are bursting inside? You have had a monumental shift, a breakthrough experience in your life. And when you try to explain it to someone, their response leaves you feeling gutted inside. I mean, you're just disappointed. So much so that maybe you start to even doubt that you've really changed at all. Well, what I've found is that the best way to prove someone that you've had an experience, a transformation, is to show them first. You know, when we don't tell them, but we show them first, they will not only believe us, they'll be our champion. And when the doubters come knocking, they'll have our back. You know, especially that pesky little voice inside of our head. You know, research shows us that 65% of people reported significantly higher trust and willingness to support a friend who demonstrated their claims through actions versus 40% who were convinced by verbal assurances alone. So if we want to win the support and confidence of people that matter, the ones we love, ones we care about, and especially those we need in our corner, championing us forward, we need to show them first. You know, there was this time when I had returned from a week-long therapy retreat in the beautiful hills of Nashville, Tennessee, a place called Onsite workshops. It had been a couple of months since our family had evacuated from Iraq. We managed to get one of the last flights out of Kurdistan, Iraq. We had 12 hours to pack our bags, to say goodbye to our friends, our home for the last 3.5 years. Our sole possessions were the few suitcases that we were holding in our hands when we boarded the flight. We left behind everything. I mean, our work and a life that we were building there. We had no plans of leaving until the situation left us no real choice. My wife, to add to it, was also pregnant with our fourth child. Needless to say, I rocked up to Onsite a little lost. I was not sure of what the future held or where we would even end up as a family. I was burnt out, I was broken, and I needed a lot of counselling. And when that airport shuttle bus rolled up to this picturesque ranch, we permanently said goodbye to our phones. We handed them in and we completely unplugged from the outside world. And for the next 7 days straight, along with a group of 8 complete strangers, we did some hard work. We had an expert guide in experiential therapy guiding us along, and we shared it all except for a few details. What we were not allowed to share was any job titles or significant achievements, professional or otherwise, not even our last name. There was no status present during that week. We were simply a bunch of hurting individuals, and we were all equal. And if we weren't huddled together in the corner of this small room, sobbing and screaming and silently at times listening and immersing ourselves in each other's stories, well, we were outside learning and talking with the resident horses or exploring the woods, and there was this nearby stone-lined labyrinth some of us would walk. It's safe to say that when I emerged from that otherworldly experience, I was a completely different person. A profound healing had taken place and had begun to take place in my life. And all these years later, it still serves as one of the most transformative experiences of my life. Behind, of course, my wedding and the birth of each of my 4 children. It was only on the final day, as our hearts were being sewn up and sent back out into the world, that we were given a few words of wisdom. The staff shared how it only takes a few degrees shift in the course of a ship sailing in the ocean for it to reach a completely new destination after its long voyage at sea. You know, in the same way, we needed to be patient. We needed to trust the process that had begun inside of us. They encouraged us to avoid talking about what we experienced in that week for a little while, at least a month. They suggested, and they also warned us against sharing too many details with family or friends too soon. Now, what we needed was to allow what had happened in us to settle a little. Time for the stitches to dissolve and for the dressings of the wound to be removed. And did I heed that warning? You guessed it. No way. I just couldn't contain my excitement. And so I found out the hard way. But they'd also warned us that if we did overshare, not to be surprised if we were left with a seemingly heartless, maybe trite response, or just a blank, disinterested face, that it would be too much to ask them to understand or even expect them to even relate to what had happened inside of us. Essentially, they were saying to us, until the right time comes, simply show them first. So the one thing that I want to leave with you today from my on-site experience, and it's this: it's how to win the support and confidence of the people that matter in our lives, in just three important steps. How to show them first. How to savor the moment. For just a little while, hold back from talking about what happened in too much detail with others that were not there to witness our transformation. Maybe just a week is all that's needed. I mean, let's remind and speak to ourselves about our achievements and instead show them first. Let's reread those sugar cubes. Let's rewatch those videos documenting our remarkable change as speakers and communicators. Rest and sit with it. Proud feeling of our incredible accomplishments. Let's savor in this moment, this necessary and this important part, the process. And let's show them first. And as the suspense slowly builds inside of us and those around us, imagine that defining moment, that kairos moment when we finally blow them out the water, all because we chose to show them first. To finish this, can you help me? Next, if we want to show them first, we've got to do the work. We've worked hard up until this point. We've earned it. We've put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears before boot camp, preparing us for what we went through. And to be honest, the truth is we were able to value that change that we went through because it cost us a lot, right? I don't know about you, but it was hard. I didn't sleep much. We had to work hard. And during boot camp, we had to put the practice in, right? And when we stood before the judges, we had to walk the talk, not talk up the talk, right? We had to show them first because practice makes perfect, right? Hell no. Practice makes progress. And the progress is seen in the results that show for themselves. And if we want to show them first, we have to do the work. There is no easy way out. It's an unavoidable part of the process. And speaking of process, this leads me to my last point on how to show them first. We need to trust the process. It has required a lot of us and a lot of humility, a lot of failure, suffering, grace, not to mention a huge amount of courage up until this point to trust the process. We did it, all of us. Now is the time not to shrink back or to doubt ourselves or the process. If we don't trust the process, we will only rob ourselves of what we've already achieved, what we've already worked hard to earn. So if we're going to trust the process, we've got to be brave enough to believe in ourselves and humble enough to receive the honest feedback necessary for our growth. We're going to have to do a lot of silencing the inner critic and listening to our hearts and embracing those dreams of ours. You know, my dad would always write in my birthday cards this little quote. It says, "The destination is the journey." And for years, I had no idea what he really meant by it. I actually thought he was writing it down wrong. It would just confuse me that much. I thought he was missing a word or something. And only recently have I begun to understand what he's been wanting me to know all these years. That if we choose to trust process, immersing ourselves in that journey, the work, the moments, when we least expect it, we'll look up and we'll realize we've already made it. So trust the process. Almost done, buddy. Almost done. You know, there are no shortcuts to this journey we are all on, and any attempt to cut corners will only cheat ourselves out of the truly unlimited potential each and every one of us are destined. And while we each have our own path, we don't have to travel it alone. We can bring others along for the ride. And if we want to win the support and trust of the people that matter most, we owe it to ourselves and to them to savor the moment, to do the work, to trust the process, and show them first. Thank you. I'm going to finish this video. Mate, can I get 1 more minute of your time? Cool. Now, I've got 2 requests for you, if you don't mind. That was my little practice. I hope I'd love some feedback. But before I do that, I just want to say thank you so much for all your words of affirmation on that final day, for your sugar cubes. I can't tell you how much every single one of those words meant. And please give me feedback on this video. And in addition to that, my first request of you is this: would you be so grateful if you'd allow me the privilege of journeying along with you, maybe even ride shotgun with you from time to time, a little up close and personal experience of each of your unbelievable accomplishments along the way. I mean, like all of you, I have a pretty full life. This is August, my youngest, and I'm about to do something that's going to make my life a little chaotic pretty soon, and a bit more about that in a minute. But I'd just really love to follow along with you. So that could be following you on social media, subscribing to you if you have a YouTube channel or a Substack blog, or share with me your business, your hobby, community. I don't know what brought you along or to boot camp and what things you're working on, but share it with me. And maybe if you have a website, a page, a group, or community on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, you get the gist. My personal email is tim@timothybuxton.com. It's pretty easy. If you'd like to add me to your newsletter list, go right ahead and do that now, or when you get a chance, or send me an email with your social media handles. I'd love to check, to add you and follow you. And secondly, would you mind if I brought you on my journey? I'm going to share my social media handle. It's similar to my email address, but with a K. So it's @TimothyK for my middle name initial, Buxton. And so if you don't mind, add me or send me an email. I'd love to add you to my personal email list that I have, and also the email list for You Belong, the nonprofit I run. I'd love for you to journey along with me. If you'd rather not, I completely understand. No explanation necessary at all. I'll only assume the best. We all have so much emails to attend to, and so I gladly honor your request, and that's pretty much it. Um, don't forget to show them first. Oh, and one more thing. Remember, we need strangers, right? You're one of them, and so am I. Love you guys. Talk to you later. Bye.